A very good evening to our viewers at home. Zenemubela, Lesine, Domunye Lomushembele, Nkosi. Welcome to our insurance group, which comes through every Thursday at 6 p.m., where United Holdings is bringing you insurance news and financial news, of course, because United Holdings doesn't only provide insurance, but we also provide microloans under our company, United Pay. United Holdings is still saying through any challenges that you may face, insurance that are insurance related. We are here to assist you. We are here to help you get to the place. If ever, probably with United Holdings, we have 4 subsidiary companies. We have United Life Assurance, who provides funeral assurance products, where we have funeral insurance. We also provide credit life policies. Credit life policies, they assist you to make sure that if ever someone passes on, yet they were owing you, you're able to get your money back. You do not want to give your money to someone and never get it back. But with credit life assurance, you're able to get your money back whenever you borrowed it to someone and that person, unfortunately passes on when they're owing you. We also have United General Insurance, a company that provides short-term insurance products. And the company we're hosting today, fortunately, and they provide short-term insurance products from car insurance, home insurance. The first legal insurance product in Swaziland, yes, provided by United General Insurance, which affords you an opportunity to have a qualified lawyer. From just a minimum $50, you can get yourself a lawyer. But in any case, we're not talking about that today. We'll be talking about car and home insurance. We also have United Health Insurance that affords you an opportunity to visit local private and public hospitals to get quality healthcare. We also have United Pay, who provides micro loans up to 50,000 emalangeni, payable within 36 months. We are trying by all means, Maswati Namashe, to make sure that you get the products and services that you need. Through this platform, we are able to interact with you and discuss different issues around insurance and make sure that you have better understanding of the products that you buy from United Holdings and her subsidiaries, to make sure we see when you get to that point where you need to be when you need that property of yours replaced or illumis, where you are able to get it done within a short space of time. Without further wasting time, may I introduce my guest for today, Mr. Patrick Gameze, our operations manager for United General Insurance. Ngasasibuva kahle Mndimaze, siyabona uyakhuluma kepha ngasasibuva kahle.
Good evening to yourself and good evening to all the viewers and listeners of this program.
Thank you for joining and for honoring our invitation today to discuss car and home insurance. Of course, if time permits, we also add personal all risk. Today, we just want to discuss Mr. Gameze. We know a lot of Maswati in the past week suffered the unfortunate, especially on Friday after the hailstorm that we went through. We've had so many inquiries. We'll see United General Insurance, how can you assist me? We know that United General Insurance covers cars and covers also property. It could be in my home, it could be also my business as well. It can also suffer the same from a hailstorm. So we just want to find out today, Mr. Gameze, as United General Insurance, how can you help us? Maybe to start off, now as Kazela, Mr. Gameze, briefly about let's start with car insurance. what the extent of cover that you have. Summarize it. I know you cover quite a lot of items, but the extent of cover that we have car insurance.
Thank you so much, Simpiwe, and thank you for affording us this opportunity as United General to actually interact with the followers of this program. It is very unfortunate, especially the events of the past week, where we saw heavy storms, especially hailstorm, throughout the country. And it got us very unprepared, especially because if you look at the time, especially on the Friday, it was just before 5 p.m. when people were just about to knock off from their places of employment. And this is the kind of risk that we live with on a daily basis. And your general car insurance basically covers for any eventualities which are damages, which is basically own damage and also third-party damages. And things or perils like storm damage, which is what happened last week, they also covered. So I think what we saw last week is basically an eye-opener to say we need to always take precautionary measures in terms of how we park our cars and how we follow our weather forecast. Yes, at times you cannot be as fortunate to actually have access to precise weather forecast, but that's just the nature of the risk that we live with. But as United General Insurance, we're saying the risk which is based on the events of the past week are covered. We've seen a lot of clients coming in, a lot of clients are phoning in, and if you go around towns in Piwe, you'd see how many cars are being driven around with damaged windscreens. And we say, if a vehicle is insured, this is basically what we're running away from. All of the insured cars need to be timely fixed and repaired. And the broken windscreens have to be replaced within the shortest time possible. That's the reason why people or customers take up insurance. So we have been called as UI to act upon the incidents of the past week. And yes, it has hit us because we've seen quite an influx of claims since Friday, because it also happened again on Saturday. I think that's just it. And those will be lucky will be the clients that have taken comprehensive cover. Because like we said previously during this same live streaming, we mentioned that there are 3 types of covers under the motor car, which is basically your own cover, your own damage cover, which is your vehicle will be covered, and also a third party will be covered, but we call it a comprehensive cover. So it means your own vehicle and also any person or any other party that you'd be involved in an accident and we found that you were on the wrong side of the law. And then the second one would just be third party only, which would cover only the person or the other party that you've been involved in an accident with and you are found to be liable. The third one would only be what you call fire, theft, and it would fire and theft. So those are the 3 different types of covers. But the storm damage, which is the current scenario, is only applicable under your comprehensive motor insurance. I think that's basically simply all. I think technology is against you, okay? We similarly can't hear you, Simpiwe.
Yeah, technology still. Can you hear me now, sir?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. It's good to know. See, through insuring your car, you're able to get it fixed as soon as possible, if I may say, as soon as anything. Because truth is, no one always has money to repair windscreen instantly. No one knows what will happen when. But with insurance, you are able to do such. I know you've mentioned, Gusi, there's comprehensive cover, which probably covers almost everything that you can actually insure against. Is there any possibility to say, I want to open one that will cover me against natural disasters similar to this one, or really I'd have to take a comprehensive cover that will be able to cover my unfortunate events that happened last week?
Simply, in nature insurance, it always it always avoids what you call selective insurance. Selective insuring is, where you pick and choose what to insure and what not to insure. The three classes of covers that I've mentioned are not being selective, but it's just the scope of cover. So now, if you're saying you want to insure against storm damage, hailstorm, and we call it selective insurance, and you're not allowed to do that. These are perils, and these perils are very critical for our own underwriting procedures and rating guides. So there's no way we can allow that. You just have to insure comprehensive cover, which is own damage on your insured vehicle, and the storm damage will be one of the perils that will be insured. That's as simple as that. Simple.
Yeah, no, I understand, Mr. Kameza. The issue, the thing is, Sibam, we want things to happen the way we want them. We want things to adjust to the way we are doing things, but it's understandable. But and then moving on to in Zabayasekaya, what can I cover a kaya? Is it just the structure, or I can also cover the things that are inside the home?
Thank you once again. It is very important for us to actually insure our household. I'll say our household, because your house owner's insurance will cover the structure itself. And you have a big house, and then you have the maids or servants' quarters if you have. Then you have the traditional hut. That's a homestead. But in the homestead, you might be having 5 structures within the same homestead. So that homestead, you will insure you will have to itemize each structure within the homestead. So you have to identify the structures within the homestead. So it will be structure 1, 2-bedroom house built of bricks and wooden trusses below, underneath either IPR or slate tile, or you have to have a description of that particular structure. Then structure 2, it's attached hut, built on with bricks and thatching. Structure 3, maybe you have a storeroom, a storeroom within the premises. You itemize all of them simply, so that whenever there is an incident like the storms that we currently experience, when we send our assessor, we will give him an already structured picture without the actual picture, by simply identifying the buildings within the structure. So when you report certain damages within the premises, you will tell us, structure 3, which is built of, built of standard construction. These are the specifications. Then the assessor will go there knowing what to look at and what not to look at. So it is very important that you do that. And most of the time, I think others, especially us Swazis, staying on Swazi Nation land, I don't know where they take this notion to say, because we're on Swazi Nation land, there's no value placed on the land, and then the value of the house is under suspect and all that. It is what you are bound to lose if this structure would get damaged. And any house that is built, even on Swazi Nation land, still has a value. What you don't have on the Swazi Nation land structures is that you can't evaluate the land itself because there is no title deed. Otherwise, the structure has a value. And if you have a storm damage, you'll have to replace or renovate the building to its previous condition. So we're saying that's the loss, that's the financial loss you'll be exposed to. So you can insure that structure. I'm just talking about the entire structure. You then go in to say, if on a storm, you've hit by a storm, there's water running through, the ceilings have been damaged, now the cupboards have been damaged, all the fittings have been damaged, the carpets, the sofas are now becoming contents. All your contents within the structure, they've now been exposed to rainwater. Those are contents. Any fixed item will be forming part of the structure, which is forming part of the house owner's identification. And anything that is movable within the building structure will be falling under contents. Your bedding, your cupboards, your tables, your sofas, your sound system, your fridges, and all those. Those will be your contents. We insure them such that we'll be able to identify what's forming part of the structure, that would be our house owners. And then what's content will fall under your householders. That's how we separate the two. You will still have a cover beyond just the contents and the body, which we call, that will be your personal liability. Because you've taken a family, you might take it as a family cover because you are covering a number of items within the same policy. We will then have what you call a personal liability cover. A personal liability cover will then cover you against any form of liability that you might incur or suffer. For instance, your dog escapes within the compound and bites a bypasser. And then you are liable for the medical bills, you're liable for a lawsuit, might be, and any other, or any other items that could possibly do. It will also extend to an extent that if you have a house, a protected domestic cover, even if you are driving a car that does not belong to you and you have a protected domestic, you're actually saying you are immediately insured, even driving a car that does not belong to yourself, because you are an insurable person, you are an insured person. So that's the extent of you being liable for damages to a third party's a property. So that would be the extent. And then your car is also covered, but your car is not only covered within the premises that you have insured. It will be covered within the premises and also outside of the premises, on the roads, wherever. But that car can also be slotted into your protected domestic cover. So that's how we actually compile the household covers in PO. I'm not sure whether we're still together with yourself and the viewers.
It was quite elaborated. I think I like the part you see it's interesting to know. It's really interesting to know, see how the extent you cover as a person. I think I also wanted to find out if I have my building material board. Is it possible for me to cover that building material while in Saka for me to cover it?
We always run away from taking, from providing insurance to construction works because we are not a contractor, and the risk that comes with building itself, the building activities, they are quite risky. So we do not get into that. This is why even if you are going to be doing renovations, you have to alert us, because that's a material fact about any developments or about the risk that we've insured. So if you silently do the renovations and then there's a spark because of the renovations and a fire is ignited and the building burns down, if our investigator or our assessor goes to check up the damages and finds that there was a reconstruction or there was a renovation initiative that was ongoing, we will hold you, we'll take you to task, because you should have advised us. We always advise our clients to do so, because those are high risk activities within the insured premises. So we always shun shun away from those kind of activities in period.
Thank you, Mr. G. I think as we've once spoken, Nasisa Kala, I think we once had a session, the importance of knowing the finer details of your insurance. I think it can never be overemphasized, because you can't and why are you saying you're not covering me? It's my house. Why are you not covering me? The show, I think, is one of the platforms where we try to emphasize the fine print, the finer details, the terms and conditions, and my exclusions, my exclusions, the insurance, emakhaya, customer umuntu ujujayoza hayi mina ngivulile umshwalensi angakabuki umshwalensi ukhavarisha ini awukhavarisha ini. So kumcwa kakhulu to lenza manje usisihlale stickers with terms and conditions. I've read and understood le manga lesihlale siwaqamba emanga lesiwaqamba nasayine amaphepha ayahlupha ngakusasa. So it's important for us to understand la terms and conditions, the exclusions la ayabukhona. Esesela ku home insurance, Mr. Kames, la home contents, the contents inside the house. Nasisi siwakhavarishile lama contents amlandlini. Am I covering them against damage, no, against theft? What am I really covering them against?
Thank you, Simpiwe. My contents are covered against either damage or destruction, and also against theft. And theft is defined as a forcible entry into or out of the insured structure. So that's what contents are covered against. If fire ignites and everything internally burns down, if they're insured, we can always reimburse or compensate you for those burning. Otherwise, if a fridge, lightning, and it's still covered within the house, we are going to compensate you for that. But they break in, there's a break-in, and they steal the items, your hi-fi, your audio contents, we're still going to compensate you for that. So that's a wide cover for my contents. But again, we use a term to say, if you don't name it, means it's not insured. So if we say you provide a spreadsheet or an inventory of the contents that you are insuring, our rating will be based on the number of items that you've given us and the values, which we then call sums insured. So if you haven't named it or you haven't included it in your inventory, it means it's not covered. So oh, Bengat's in a hi-fi in my bedroom. There is another hi-fi Kenwood that is worth 20,000. But in your inventory that you submitted for insurance cover, it was not listed, because the sum insured of the contents will be based on the inventory and the values, which will give you an accumulation, which we then call sum insured. So that is very important that we always have these lists.
If you do not name it, it's not covered.
If you do not name it, it's not covered.
Mr. Kamete, let's hope if you do not name it, it is not covered. Do I really have to be the one owning the item for me to cover it?
Sorry?
Do I have to be the one owning the item for me to cover it? No matter the insurance market data, my home contents. Go
insurance kuna common term once again insurable interest. You cannot insure financial interest or insurable interest. So uma ngabe Simpiwe asahlala ekhaya and she's the breadwinner, or she's the one that is working within the family, and she feels if anything could go wrong, she would have serious financial loss. Then you can insure those, but you have to disclose who is the registered owner. Because if you do not, disclose, massive claim stage, we will then have to ask you, would say, can we have proof that you own this property? And we find that you do not own it. Now we start a long story. So you have to disclose that inside. Just like when you're insuring a car. You can insure a car because you've just bought it and you still haven't changed ownership. But you do not have to hide that fact. You have to state that, yes, it is your car, you have a financial interest and an insurable interest, but it is not registered under your name. Others, they buy the cars, they never change their ownership. Others buy the cars and they register them under their children's names. So you just have to disclose that fact so that when we do the underwriting, we know exactly who's the registered owner.
The finite details. It comes back to the finite details. It's important to see, make sure whatever details that you are providing are correct, are right. That comes out saying when you are coming to claim my office. Honestly, we can never overemphasize indaba yemagama, ownership, policy holder. If ever there are questions that you have with regards to your policies, it's important to talk to that consultant that is assisting you, because we are in the business of paying claims. We want to pay the claims, but we are also guided by regulations and laws who say this is how you handle things. So it's important to ask. We are sure, Mr. Games, you could rather you'd be a financer. I cannot cover my mother's car unless you cannot make sure now make sure it's registered under the right person. Not thinking in the Nasekutan, Nanagazana, Sicilian, Dubai, Sengal, Mage, Ashele Kaya, Abase, almost impossible, Lanagan, as we make a show, Balalina Makaya, who steam her patong, Hetisalang, and Aboloni, Nagoshamaswati, and make sure we'll see if ever it belongs to a child. Let's insure it under the child's name. If ever it belongs to you, let's insure it under you, so that we do not have a problem. Nasesfuna prove by ownership. There is insurable interest when it comes to insurance. If it's not going to prove insurable interest, then there is no way we will be able to cover that item that you are trying to insure. Sibuyele kancane emuva, Mr. G, inzabeni car insurance. Are you able to cover a foreign cars? Dubai, but
yes, we do, Simpiwe. We do cover the gray cars or Dubai. But the only thing that we do is we can provide a quote, yes, based on the year of make and get the sum insured or the value of the car. But when you want to activate cover, we need you to go through an evaluation process. We've got a number of other insurance assessors in the country. So we recommend that you use one of those evaluators or motor vehicle assessors. They will then give you a certification to say, this is the evaluated value of the particular vehicle. They will also take pictures, because we only insure cars that are not damaged. The car must be insurable. It must be in a roadworthy status. This is why we want it to be, to go through the evaluation process. We'll then use that evaluation certificate to activate cover. Otherwise, we do. Obviously, I think because the biggest problem with the gray cars is that most of the time you find that even the year of makes are not the actual year of make. At times you have instances where some people will come in and insure a car, and says, oh, the vehicle is 67,000. And we say, oh, maybe out of trust, yes, it is 60,000. 3 months down the line, you have a car accident, and the side of the car is scratched off, and you want to repair the car. The code comes back just for the mirror in the right-hand side door, the quote comes to 48,000. Now you're saying only 2 items are already worth 42,000. Then what's the actual value of the car? This is what happens with the gray cars. So this is why then we're saying, let us evaluate them, and we will only pay up to the stated value, which is up to the agreed on or certified value of the car at inception of the policy. And we'll then consider the market value at the time of accident, so that we pay a fair value at the time of accident. That's the only issue with gray cars. And obviously, the excesses, they differ a little bit when we come to claim stage. What we're offering on your general cars, there is a bit of access, an increased access whenever it's a gray car. That's an issue, simply.
Thank you, Mr. G. Nabuela Renza by yes, Valon, let's 45,000 and Zimoto City 60,000. How do you make sure the prices of the items are not inflated? Saying maybe it's a safely windscreen motor yami. We are quotations that see a light trim, we does 10,000, we have 30,000, we have 50,000. How do you control that? My clients are inflated lama cost as fixed.
Thank you so much for that question, Simpiwe. As an insurance company, we have a very structured claims process. As soon as we get an indication of a claim, there's certain processes that get activated within the business. And one of those many processes is once the quotations have been submitted, we then refer them to our external assessors. The assessors then engage with the quotation and also with the repairer. If it's not a repairer, it's a supplier, they engage with the prospective supplier. And then they have their technical approach on things, and eventually they will be in agreement with a certain level of the repairs. Even if the repairs or replacements have been inflated, the assessor will deal with that.
Mr. Jing, I mean, now asking the garage lagam. Is because 30,000 quotation. I think controls value almost everywhere. Less went down. So in terms of payment, premiums. I know this is short-term insurance, which is an annual contract. How spelling in car insurance? How can I pay my how often, or how can my payment arrangements in my premiums for a car insurance? But what arrangements do you offer?
You mean the types of premium arrangements that you can make? Okay, these are annual contracts. Am I short term? They call it short term because it's a short period. So our short period is actually 12 months. So all our short-term policies, they go for 12 months. And the premium again is also annualized. So the quotation will give you our annual premium. If a push comes to a shop, we will then have a negotiation. It depends. It could be a monthly payment. It could be but all monthly payments, we need them to be paid through a pre-arranged debit order system. Because if you are going to be paying us on a monthly basis through an EFT, and 2 months you decide to ignore us, and then you have an accident and you say, yeah, but you guys who didn't phone me to tell me that premium was due and all that. You can imagine how many clients we have. And that's that aspect of phoning all clients because they decided to not to pay their premiums for that particular month. So we always prefer that you have a pre-arranged a monthly payment, which is through a monthly debit order system. So you can either pay cash, the full premium, or an EFT, the full premium. And then if you pay monthly, you have to arrange a debit order system. If it's beyond those two arrangements, then we would have, it will depend on the kind of client, because we treat each case, I mean, we handle that on a case by case basis.
No premium, no premium, no claim.
That's very important. Banda sisebathu badliwe komshwalensi bangayibhukile aspect ukuthi ingabe yena bekangathi ayimithilene kakhe i-application. You must meet your application as a client and ensure that all information that you have provided to us is factual, and also make sure that your premiums are paid on time and timeously. Then the insurance will not have a problem when a claim comes, because that's the first thing that you look at when you tell us who is a claim. Claims must be reported on time, again, and as much as the premium must be paid on time. Claims, you can't just have a claim, an accident and sit. 7 months later, you come in and say, after the accident, so I just decided to ignore. I want now to activate my right to claim. You know, now, because the situations, we need to investigate some of these claims. So now, if it's 6 months later, how are we going to get the facts on what happened and how it happened and all that? Now it will become a problem. So we're saying everything must be done within reasonable times, and every documentation or submission must be done with all truthfulness and worthiness.
Thank you, Mr. G. I just want to emphasize there, see, we only have a part to play when it comes to insurance. As an insurer, Definitely. You have a part, your part, and as a customer, I also have my part. It's not just my irresponsibility. Our client is not just paying premiums only, but to also make sure the details that you provided are correct, and and of course the timeless payment of e-premium is also important. Ngoba ingizaba ye-claim avele nedliwa umshwalensi isasilwisa impela nemakhasimende ethu. Sibuye la ku-home insurance. Do we have a similar arrangement nakhona when it comes to paying the premiums, or it's slightly different?
We're using the same format of premium payment. It's all standard.
Okay. No, I wish again Mr. G. I know we did highlight it a bit earlier on, but it was a product. The car insurance, the steps, step by step guide, Mr. G. What do I do? I'm trying 810. What happens after I say 810 to inquire about opening the insurance? I am set to know I really want to open car insurance, especially after this weekend. What really happens?
Okay, maybe even before we get to the actual activation of the cover, it is very important for us as prospective customers or clients that we have a full understanding of the covers that we're going to be taking. I've highlighted that under your motto, you've got various covers. You can't then activate third-party fire and theft and expect, say, you're coming in, you want to lodge a claim. You can't be rated, you decide, oh, there's only 3 people that will drive my car, and you name them, we'll give you a discount, we'll give you all those discounts. Now you come in at a point of accident, we find that the person who was driving is not the person that was listed in your insurance. You must also have an appreciation of the kind of excesses. For insurance in PWA, if you find someone that tells you that we will pay 100% of what you're claiming, you must widen your eyes and look into that, because it means there might be some sort of a trick behind that. You know, it's very unfortunate that at times people come in and they say, yeah, you never told me there will be a certain portion of money that I'll need to pay. All insurances, they work with excesses. You must get an appreciation of the amount of excess that you will be required to pay. You've got your base, what you call your compulsory excess, and then you've got what you call compulsory excesses are the excesses that we charge for. For instance, my issues around windscreen. We are saying a windscreen. Previously, the windscreens would only be insured if there was accidental damage to the car itself, and it becomes part of the damage. Otherwise, if it was just a windscreen that it happens, they never used to. But then insurance decided to change their approach. So now, yes, we are covering windscreens that have been hit by hailstorm, but you're still expected to make a contribution. The contribution currently with us is a third of the value of the windscreen replacement. So if your windscreen is a 1,500 emalangeni, obviously that would be a third of that would be 500 emalangeni. That would be your contribution. We have that kind of condition. But then when you talk about now a voluntary excess, it means you're saying, I've insured my car for 60,000. And I know you've got your own compulsory excesses that are applicable with the car. But I still feel that the premium you're charging is on a bit high, or on the high side. I'm saying I can always have 20,000 for my pocket if I have an accident. So can you please do away with 20,000 from the cover? It means every damage that is below 20,000 emalangeni, you will be self-insured. Now you get a car, your car spin-off and the damages are worth 40,000. Now it means the insurance will consider 20,000 of the 40,000 because you've taken 20,000 voluntary excess. So it means you are self-insured for the first 20,000. But other clients, they don't notice that these are accumulations. You still have to add that voluntary excess of 20,000 onto an already built-in compulsory excess. There's excesses for driver's license. If a driver's license is younger than 5 years, there is a certain excess that you need to pay. It could be 5%, it could be 10%. If the driver that smashed the car is between 25 and 21 years, there's a 10% excess. Over and above the general excess of 10%, which is a compulsory excess based on own damages and based on the amount of repairs or replacement value at the time. So you see, Simpiwe, these are some of the things that then complicate things, and clients say, hey, you never told us this. These are the things that we need to go through. Whenever you want a quotation, please look into this. And in the insurance market, we don't fight around, compete around price itself exactly, because you might go for the most cheap, the cheapest quotation from the market, only to find that the cheapest market does not provide cover. When you have a claim, now you realize, hey, I could have basically taken the premium, the 14,000 worth of premium instead of taking the 7,000 worth of premium, because the 7,000 worth of premium basically covers me for nothing. There's high excess, there's this exclusion and all that. You have to consider those issues. The exclusions in the policy and also the excesses in the policy. Those are very, very critical, not only on the motor section, but also in your contents cover, and also your house owners, your house contents. That is very, very important, Simpiwe, that before you make the decision not to take or to take the cover, because those are the reasons why we normally end up as insurers fighting with clients. It's at claim stage. Remember that as insurers, we're only selling a promise. You insure your car with us, we are just taking off a burden from your side to say, Simpiwe, go in peace, drive in peace. Whenever anything happens, don't worry, just give us a call, we will take care of the damages. But then if we don't tell you the small print and don't tell you that, hey, we'll take care of the damages, but you'll have to participate in the claim. You damage it, you sprang it, and you costing us 90,000. You are going to pay 10% of those damages. That must be an open secret. Your car, I mean your contents. If you're gonna leave your windows open, you don't lock up and you go on a weekend spree, you come back midnight and you find your every time there's been a burglary. I don't know why. Even if it's not windy, they've got their own way of telling you there's something wrong. But that's how things are. But again, we'll say, oh, there's an access because you left the premises were unoccupied and you were not, the premises were not totally locked up. So you also at fault. So you must participate. There's certain warranties that come with these insurance policies. So we must be cognizant of those facts before we even decide to take up insurance. So that is very, very important for us because it also gives us a peace of mind as insurers so that we don't, like now, we're saying people are running around getting quotations. If everything is in order, why do we have to delay our clients? You just get a quotation for a replacement of a windscreen, you submit those, you don't even need to come to the office because things now we do them electronically. If you submit from your own place of employment, you don't need to drive around with that windscreen. You send all the documents via email, and we do the processing from our side. If it's very urgent, we allow most of the clients to actually go on and get their cars fixed, and then they'll just issue us with the receipts. But we're saying give us a call first before you attempt to repair those, because we will then give you a claims guide to say maybe we want pictures, maybe we want this, we want that, the quotation, the repairer, whatever. And you must be in communication with either ourselves as the insurer or through your broker if you are going through a broker. Those are the details. And then we want to ensure that our turnaround time is as reasonably as possible for the comfort of you as our client. So that is it, Simpiwe. I don't know whether I've covered well on that before I answer your initial question.
You have covered, Mr. Kametse. I think one thing that I picked out, maybe to summarize, see, we all, it's maybe it's an emphasis of what you've said, it's a partnership. We all have a role to play. Do not expose yourself with the hope you see insured, because the fact that I have a responsibility means that if I even a pinch, remember that you also have to play a part in making sure we see whatever damages that happened after being fixed. I also contribute towards it. So it's a partnership. We have to work together to make sure we see the relationship it works. It's not just about UGI providing the insurance just like that, but in that way you have a role to play. You have a part to play in your insurance, in you getting the insurance for whatever asset you may want to cover.
Salonkumbuta sengihlafune Okay, thank you so much for your motor insurance. What we did is the registration certificate for the car. Even though solo you need the registration certificate for the car. We need your driver's license. We need your identity, your ID documents. We need your proof of residence. We need your proof of residence. And then there is an application form that we provide that you then have to give us. There is a section that we call the KYC there, which is very critical as per the insurance regulations. You need to fill in at least the basics, which is your KYC section. That would be it, Simpiwe. And then obviously, it's the premium.
Yes. Ushito ndimanze ukuthi udatshela sinekha insurance nansi uvula third party kuphela awusakhona ukuthi nangabe wena seyishayisile le yakho ilungisele. So make sure ukuthi you really understand the products that you're taking up ungadot kanzi usenkingeni. Khumbulani Mvubu. Welcome Mr. Mvubu ka Facebook. The login details are Zoom. They are shared on the invite on the page. Unfortunately, I can't find them immediately. Lambi Wami, Zoom ID is 6607308528. That's the Zoom ID. i-password is United Hold. Unfortunately, sesengasemaphethelweni angathi nomuntu awukhona yini Mr. Mvubu ukungena. Kepha nje sethembele ndile ukuthi awuvela ungena usikhala kacha. We do invite my clients ukuthi angene nakaZoom, angangena kaZoom akhona ukuthi imibuto lafuna kuyibuta nala ngephasi nje ningakhona ukubuta lenifuna ukubuta la khona la ka Facebook. Nito khona ukubuta lenifuna ukubuta. Mr. Kameze sesivala sem. Now ngasithi halamisi ngana indzaba ye personal all risk insurance. I know lama products ala kasho term acisha fana ne onke ngawo sisicoverisha lokuhamba ngoba sihamba nawo nalokunye kuhlala phansi kungahambi kepha sacoverisha konke. What is personal all risk, Mr. Kameze?
Simpiwe, personal all risk, basically, we have spoken about your household insurance, which is the house itself and also your personal liability, which is your liabilities against third parties. And also you've spoken about the motor, and then we've spoken also about the contents in the house. But obviously you'll have contents, your sound system in the house is a content. But what about your laptop? What about your cell phone? What about the watch that you're wearing? What about the glasses that you're actually wearing? You know what could happen. You could drop the glasses and they break. You have to have insurance. That insurance simply is called personal all risk, because you cannot, your householders, it's a defined location, but your all risk is undefined. You might be traveling overseas, or you might be traveling from the house to the office, but you are still insured. It's your personal all risk. It provides cover on a worldwide basis. You don't need to tell us Thailand for holiday in December. It's an automatic cover as long as you've taken your personal all risk. So the movable items, the items that you move around with, your wedding ring might be expensive. As we know, your glasses I've already mentioned. So if they get stolen, or you just lose them, or it's a breakage, your cell phone, you know, most of them, I'll normally see people carrying them cell phone that my screens like the ones which is over by fashion. It's just because it becomes expensive to replace, you know. But if you have insurance, these are the kind of damages that we insure against. It's very unfortunate because you can drop off your cell phone, 20 or 10 days because these have become, you know, personal gadgets that our bread and butter, you know, they are part of our lives. So if you have insurance, the replacement will be organized within the shortest time possible. So let us take the personal all risk so that it covers these items that are not only kept in the premises or in the house, but are always carried along anywhere, anytime.
We'll see, Mr. Jisa, let's see le fashion yema screen like rekile. Ngana lam nje lufake camera la screen se camera la ngemuva kube nje bene insurance chanceda Mr. Kameze kusasa angathi nomntangisita ngepha ngiyasitaka la nawe usendele liphukile sengida lo insurance.
Nani insurance coverisha only for unforeseen losses. So Lena, it's already premeditated, or even it has already occurred. So we don't buy claim, we would be buying claim if we take that. So please, before you insure it, before it gets damaged.
Again, Mr. Kameze, I think we have picked quite a number of items, Namusha, when it comes to insuring assets. Firstly, if you haven't paid your insurance, it's not covered. You cannot claim. Number two, your insurance is not just about your insurer, but it's also about you. You also have a responsibility to give the right details to make sure the cover is the right cover you wanted and you need. You are not just opening the cover because you saw your friend opening it, but you are opening something that you already need and that will assist you. Home insurance without covering your contents inside. So you UGI usi sebangibeli fridge yami eganzi bongakayicoverisha fridge ngekhathi. Kanti United General Insurance yakhona ukuthi cover structure sakho nalokho la ngekhathi. So it's important to make sure ukuthi you know what you have covered and you are able to claim for that very thing that we have covered. It's also important what the terms and conditions, the exclusions that involved kuleyo policy yakho. Loyivulile ungadikhazi zokuthi sohambe uyokhuluma ukuthi vele mina ngidliwe ngumshwalensi pay. So kukusada nje emalangeni lamahle nangabe there's something that you are not sure about with regard to your insurance, we are just a phone call away. Inombolo yamahhala it's 800 1010 800 1010 uyashaya ukhulume lwayela nibasho labancane ngesekentsala uyashaya uthi 800 1010 ukhulume as much as you can by inombolo yamahhala. You can also contact us on WhatsApp. We have the number next to me here, which is 7808 8050 7808 8050. Uyakhona ukushaya nakuyo yona le nombolo WhatsApp ekiyo and get the assistance that you need. It's important to have the right information when it comes to insurance. In Zabaya, I understand terms and conditions. Ayingangeni ngala insurance balalele emakhaya kufuna siwadi lama terms and conditions singatosho kusasa kusisiwe ngumshwalensi. Know your terms and conditions, know your insurance cover that you have opened, know your insurer as well. Uma nje usudamthola kuphi babegameze nasekwendekile sofuna claim ushido usuyashaya nasowushayile nangabe ungazi lokushaya sekukhashane wathi kusudavela ukugibela ibhasi noma ugibela ibhasi nangabe leyo moto yakho seyilimele ugibela ibhasi weka United Holdings kepha nje asisiboni isidingo sekugibela ibhasi ushaya ucingo nje impela uyakhona kusidakala. Mr. Kametse sesivala demand mavi akho egcina.
Thank you so much, Simpiwe, and Nago Bongelaba followisha this session. I think the main point is that they always say insurance is a risk transfer mechanism. But for us, we understanding it, we would say insurance it's a risk sharing mechanism because you still have your responsibility as the insured. Because you are insured, it doesn't mean that you can do things as in how you want them to be done. You can't just get into a car and start banging the guardrails going up the highway to Embaban because the car is insured. You're gonna get a replacement. No, you've got certain responsibilities, and these are the things that we always consider when we are processing a claim. And it could be your personal it could be your car, or it could also be your home or your contents, or even the gadgets that I'm talking about. Simply, you have a responsibility to safeguard those insured gadgets. Not to say because now they're insured, you can just leave them as and when, leave the house unlocked, unclosed, leave the doors open, and we are hamba, we are emashingweni. Cell phone yakho ishiye tuwe bonnet uyahamba uyawuchitha imali lapha esigabeni. Obviously you are exposing yourself. I mean the consequences that are leading to a theft of a gadget that you have insured or the loss of a gadget, we always follow those. There are certain legal processes that you have to take through, to go through so that we can substantiate a claim. So about how we have been news. No, we cannot just pay without scrutinizing all of the claims. And then one other aspect that we didn't touch on, all insured cars, we're always saying, if your car gets damaged, if you're involved in an accident, don't just allow any towing company to tow the car. We have specific towing companies that will pick up our vehicle. And if you are a client and you still don't have our non-towing sticker, call UGI, please get in contact with our underwriters at the office so that you can get your insured by UGI sticker. So that anytime you have an accident, you can just have instant assistance from our towing partners. Please, that is very important because at least they know where to drop off the car so that it is protected. Thirdly, Simpiwe, even if you have had damages in your house, either be it the storm damages or that, you then also have a right to still safeguard the contents that are insured in the building. I go to just simply because some get them and so you run off and you go to the neighbor's house and you go and sleep there. You don't even care what's happening to your contents that have been left off. So you have to make sure that you make contact to provide security. We can then reimburse if there is a cost that comes with the security that was provided overnight to safeguard that. Because then the loss at the time, the loss must be contained. So that at the time when we then send an assessor, the situation or the environment is the same as at the time of the actual loss. People help themselves onto the contents, and now we are claiming against storm damage and also theft, unknown theft, you know. So please, that is also very important, secure. And thank you so much, dear viewers, dear followers. We're hoping that you'd adhere to the call, and you know that your only one insurer is United General, and we assure you of the best of service at all times. Thank you.
Let us be responsible insurers. Beneficiaries of insurance. Be responsible. Teacher. So my insurance. Let us be responsible clients. Singadikhanzi njengoba asho umlimanzo so ubeka icingo lakho lapha so yabuya kusasa sothi icingo lami selilahlekile ngeke usije kolibeke kabi kumcwa kakhulu ke ukuthi sibe responsible when it comes to our insured items. Mr. Ndimanze babe Gametse siyabonga kakhulu for your time. We hope my clients starting from next week, we'll make sure we'll see link Zoom. Sitala ngayo nje sikhomenta ngayo la ngephasi ema clients atokhona kusafaqade angene ka Zoom babude imibuto labafuna kuyibuta session next week. We are definitely going to be involving my clients. If you want to be part of our program next week, please do indicate to say, you know what, I want to join next week's program because we want to be interacting with you to find out ukuthi njengamakhasimende nine indlela enfise kuyiva noma kuyibona from United Holdings. We'll be sharing the login details, and of course during the course of the week we are going to be sharing more details about next week's program. We will be announcing this week's winner from our weekly competition tomorrow morning, so do stay tuned to find out what I would like to say, St. Valerie, is make sure you pay your premiums on time. When it comes to short-term insurance, annual premiums, payment of premiums annually is really advisable. Because you forgot to process your premiums. Make sure you know the type of insurance products that you took. What you can see, comprehensive third party. Now, third party, comprehensive. No, make sure you understand the products that you are opening. Make sure you also understand the exclusions, the terms and conditions when it comes to your policy that you are opening. Make sure the details that you're also supplying are the real details, are the correct details. Because now that's just coverage moto yaspiwe kanzeli gamang simpiwe. So make sure the details that you're providing are correct. They are very, very important in making sure we see. Claims, si process claim police. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us. We hope that we are going to share my details to the link and the password. Thank you so much. May you have a blessed weekend. It's spaghetti fonyo sigezedandla sanitize sigwemeti tubu nema parties sizamelo sisiwa limite egonakase sagcinana kepha nje sizamelo emsiya sibe safe kulesi kwendako simaswati namahle impela sonke ibe ngulenhle nikhumbule kumsebenzisa 810 nibude lo mbuto ask you shall be answered njengoba nakucelile uyaniketwa sibonga kakhulu Mr. Gamete have a lovely evening.